Hey everyone. So today, because we're approaching the new year and everything, I thought I would make a video about how I stopped eating animal products and became vegan in the hopes of inspiring others to do the same in 2015. So here is my story. Um, for the first 20 years of my life, I was basically raised as a vegetarian or maybe pescatarian more accurately. I called myself vegetarian, but I did eat fish about probably like once or twice a week. And then I also ate dairy products, mainly cheese and yogurt, as well as eggs, pretty much on a daily basis, or most days at least. I never consumed meat growing up because I was basically just raised that way. My mom raised my sister and I to not eat meat. So it was basically a habit. But also I was really growing up I was really fascinated with animals, and I remember at times I would like bring like stacks of books home from the library and spend hours like researching endangered species and different kinds of animals and stuff. So it was also like something that was my choice as well, not to consume animals, because it was just such a horrific thought for me to do that. So even though I experienced a lot of close connection with animals growing up, that's not actually what brought me to the vegan lifestyle initially. And looking back on it, um, during my as I was growing up, my choices for not eating meat were more to do with the fact that it was just something that I didn't want to do and something that wasn't inside my comfort zone, more than it was like something that I realized was like inherently wrong. So basically, what I'm saying is that for me, it was not eating meat was a personal choice as opposed to a moral obligation. And also, I was just not aware at all of what goes on inside the meat industry. So, like most people, or like many people, I was first exposed to the vegan lifestyle from a health perspective. For most of my teenage years, I suffered from an eating disorder as well as quite a bit of depression. So, by the time I was 20 years old, I was in university, and I was really, really desperate to find a new, more sustainable way of living. During this time, I was doing a lot of research into health and nutrition and different diets, trying to find something that would fit for me. And so that's basically how I first came to become really seriously interested in the vegan diet, which is not a diet, by the way, but at that time I didn't realize that. So for a period of a few months, I guess like late 2012, early 2013, I kind of like floated back and forth, and it kind of experimented with being vegan for a while. And but for some reason, even though I was like already vegetarian, I just had this idea that it was just something that would be way too hard to do because I ate a lot of cheese. And during this time, I was also really conflicted because I was suffering from disordered eating habits. So on the one hand, I was like desperate for a new kind of healthier lifestyle, and I somehow knew that cutting out all animal products would really help with that. But on the other hand, I had my family and health advisors, everyone around me, encouraging me to eat more dairy and more eggs and stuff. So I was like, I was very conflicted, and I would go back and forth for periods of time, and this went on for a few months. But somehow I just knew that being vegan was the right thing to do, but I just didn't really understand why. Finally, in March of 2013, I somehow just stumbled across. Finally, in March of 2013, I just randomly happened to stumble across, um, pardon me, the YouTube video of Gary Yourofsky's best speech you'll ever hear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's just what it's called, Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by Gary Yourofsky. So that video was key for me in changing the way that I saw things, and it had such a powerful effect on me that it basically convinced me immediately, like within the first few minutes, that I had to stop consuming animal products for the rest of my life. And like not because it was like the best thing for me, which it was, but like because I felt like it was like I had an obligation to, after having watched the contents of the film. So that day in March 2013 was the last time that I intentionally consumed any animal products. And it also marked the beginning of like a new kind of stage of moral development for me. What I mean by that is basically, up until then, I'd only been concerned about what benefited me and what benefited other people in terms of my choices. Once I saw that video and started educating myself and opening my eyes to the truth of animal agriculture, I began to understand as well that choosing to consume animal products is not a choice that just impacts ourselves, it's a choice that impacts the ones who are being forced and exploited to provide those products. This was a concept that had never even occurred to me and was precisely what compelled me to stop consuming animal products and what has kept me that way ever since. The idea that profiting off of someone else's body is not okay. And to put it in the simplest terms possible, their bodies, not ours. Their milk, not ours. Their eggs, not ours. That's what it all comes down to. So that's basically my vegan story, as best as I can put it into words. What I did want to point out again, though, is the difference between when I saw it as my choice and the difference between when I saw it as my obligation to have a basic level of respect for all the other animals that we share this beautiful planet with, because that's what's gonna make or break it. Having that level of understanding is what's gonna turn it from being an experiment to a lifelong commitment. The last point that I wanted to bring up quickly, and this is like a trap that a lot of people fall into. I fell into it when I first became vegan as well. That is the idea that going vegan is the best thing that we can possibly do for animals, and that is completely the opposite. Going vegan is the least that we can do for animals. So being vegan should be seen as the beginning, the first step. If we really want animal liberation, we actually have to do something. We actually have to fight for it. So I hope you like this video. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos that I'm making. So yeah, thanks for watching.